everyone, this is Jenny. Welcome to another video for my YouTube channel and blog. I'm trying to do several different video streams of videos for my personal blog, videos for other design team blogs, and try to keep up with all of them. So this is a personal blog video that I have created. I have been recently sort of freshing my craft room, and in the process have really come to find lots of things that I never realized I had, things that I had been saving, and this is a good bit of those things. I had found lots of pictures of my children that were all taken kind of the two of them, and I kept them all together. So I'm going to scrapbook all of those pictures kind of together, and I'm going to use some of these favorite bits of mine here that I'm going through. There's a piece of, I believe it's crepe paper. I'm sorry, I'm not going to really remember all of these pieces. There's a couple pieces of crepe paper. This is, I believe, it's either My Mind's Eye or crepe paper, and that's a Valentine's collection. And I really just pulled a lot of the things that were some of my favorites that I had been holding onto and planning to use for something, and I just never got around to it. And the problem with that is, even though it's great, then you get into this situation like I did where those things get lost and then you never use them. So I'm going to go through, these are a few of the embellishments I'm going to use. I've got a lot of these Pinkfresh Studio wood sort of enameled colored arrows. And I've got some tags that are, I believe they are, they might be crepe paper. And I've got this crepe paper tag, or it's like a sort of library kind of folder, sort of little pocket card. And there's several of those that I've been dying to use. So I'm going to use one of those with this. And then a lot of these other sort of travel cards. And I've got one of these. It's a Amy Tangerine sort of resist embossed tag. It's a circle tag that you can mist, and it'll be, sort of ready to go. So I'm going to speed through this pretty quickly and try to talk through a lot of it. I had already had all these photographs in a photograph drawer ready to be used for something else. So I just decided, I'm going to put them all together. So, after I picked all those photos out and some of those papers, this is that one piece I said was the Amy Tangerine. It's like a there are 2 or 3 circles and tags, and it's already sort of pre-embossed so that it's kind of like, you just sort of wipe it down and it's a resist piece. So I used that and misted it with like a dark navy. This is one of my favorite pieces of crepe paper, polka dot paper, but I wanted to tone it down, so I had a piece of vellum. I'm going to use the Tonic large Tim Holtz guillotine trimmer here to trim down this piece of paper that I've been dying to use. I think it might be American Crafts. I really don't know. I'll have to tag everything in and list everything in the description. A lot of this stuff, honestly, is things that I've had in this sort of like my favorite file, and I'm going to use them, and then I didn't use them. So that's what I'm trying to do here. So I used that, and I trimmed it down and had a piece of craft paper in the background, and then I've trimmed my photographs down. And they're all photographs of my children together through different stages of trips or events or different things that were, fairly important and kind of I mean, it wasn't like up until recently, but it was a good sort of maybe 6 years of, maybe longer than that, maybe 7 years of the beginning of their lives together. And it was I thought it was a good representation of the two of them together. And my daughter always sort of holding on to my son and really, getting him in the picture and getting him to smile. And I, it's kind of nice at this point in my life, our lives, to really look back on, images like that when sometimes things aren't going so great, that it's nice to see everybody getting along, and those times when, they just really got along and really loved each other and really, smile for the camera, and it wasn't a chore and it wasn't a big deal. And so I thought it would be fun to document that sort of as um, this was sort of the map behind them, and this is what they could be doing, and this is where they were going and could go. And so I went ahead and I mounted that map pattern paper onto that craft paper. And then I mounted this polka dot paper with this piece of vellum on the front just to mute it down a little bit. And then glued it down only kind of underneath where I knew that the photographs would be. And so I popped up all of those photographs onto dimensional adhesive. And then that is the piece of the Amy Tangerine resist embellishment that I used. I cut it in half and was going to use it on two different corners, sort of to anchor it down as a little bit something darker. And I kind of tried to align these a little bit so that the pictures of my son would be sort of straight up and down, so that I could use this piece of a chipboard that was from a really old crepe paper Valentine's collection. And it's like a sort of like a film strip sort of negative. That's it there. And I wanted to be able to I knew it was going to be offset in some, places and cut things off, but I thought it would be neat to kind of just highlight a piece of it and break things up like that. There's plenty of pictures of the two of them, so I didn't feel like it was going to, distract too much from it. So I've got these other tags that are from a traveling collection, and so that is what is under the two of those, and that's the tag that is in that crepe paper sort of library kind of pocket there. Which is where I have the date and other things like that. I really wanted to write something to the two of them, and I'm sort of planning, I was going to do it in that tag that's in the pocket, and I thought maybe I might just wait and write it on the back of it. We're sort of at this point in our lives, to be completely honest, where my daughter is 14 and my son is 11. And, they were so easy. They loved to take photos. They were such great posers for photographs. They always had smiles. They were always holding on to each other. And it was so great and so easy to use them as subjects for any kind of scrapbook fodder. And then, a few years ago, things changed. And I know that's what's going to happen. So it was kind of nice to grab some of these photographs from before that happened. I think we might be coming out of a little bit of that now. I know that's the general, that's just what happens with kids as they grow older. And I think that's kind of the beauty of being able to document things as you go along, to really recognize the fact that, people and children reach different stages and different times. And if you can kind of capture that without trying to make it look fake, that's a great way to really, really capture what's at the heart of all of our scrapbook ideals. That may sound a little deep, but I've been listening to this lovely podcast called Crafty Ass Females, and they've been interviewing Amy Tangerine, and they interviewed Allie Edwards the other day, and they talked about One Little Word and December Daily and all of the things that I value so much about memory keeping and scrapbooking. And it was so enlightening. If you have not heard that podcast, or if you are not into those, you should really check it out. It's these girls are great, and they interview lots of really good people. They sort of have a book club, and the book of their month, except it's sort of fall, winter kind of, because they're trying to be laid back about it, is the Amy Tangerine book, Craft the Life You Love. I think that's the name of it. I have it, and I have only gotten through about half of it, but it's a great podcast, and it's a great reminder of all of the reasons why we do what we do, and why it's important, and why it's valued, not just to us, but to our future, and to our children's future, and to our family's future. And so that's what really got me thinking about trying to make a page that had a collective of photographs of things of my children from lots of different stages in our life. And so that may sound a little bit deep and introspective, but I really feel strongly about this podcast and the things that it made me remember about everything that's going on now, especially because I just sort of made this big clean out of my craft room, and it's been really refreshing and sort of invigorating, and it's really kind of made me stop and think about everything that's going on in that way. And I think it's a great thing for everybody to stop and recognize that, that this is important, and this is what we do this for a specific reason, a big reason, an important reason. And it may be therapeutic, and it may be a good way to get away from other things and have some private time, but it's important for so many other reasons. And I really encourage you to go and check that out. It's called Crafty Ass Females, and they have the cutest logo, which they have t-shirts for, that I would love to have one, except I'm not sure how everyone would take that. But anyway, getting back to my layout, you just saw me kind of put all of those pieces together. I added a lot of enamel embellishments, some geo sort of stickers, lots of little arrows, some of those Pinkfresh arrows, and paper clips, and then a few little strips of washi tape that have gold on it, and the date on that tag there. I think I may go back and write something on the back of that tag that has more to do with what I've just sort of spoken about, but I did not do that for this video. And then I just go and write a couple little things about how I hope my children have lots of adventures and enjoy them, whether they're together or on their own. So that is about it. You can see these are the close-ups, and the final product is here at the end. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I really appreciate all of the feedback I've gotten, all of your support. I really appreciate anybody that subscribes, comments, leaves any questions. I am happy to answer any of those, and I look forward to seeing all of that and seeing you guys in the next video. I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.